played the boxing game. And what this speaks to, and this is a boxing show, boxing is fundamentally exploitative. I get this as a fan. It's a guilty pleasure. I get it, right? And usually it's fans and networks exploiting fighters, right? We say, we want to see you in blood and guts fights, which risks their health for the rest of their life to entertain us. But here's what's crazy to me about a fight like that. And I remember, when I'm a little kid, Sugar Ray Leonard wins the gold medal. And then you blink, he's fighting Benitez for the title. Then he's fighting Durant twice. Then he's fighting Hearns. It didn't take 100 years to make the fight. But what's wild about something like this is a real super fight. And I said this on the broadcast for Crawford and Canelo. Can't be promoted into existence. Right. What a real super fight is, the dust settles in an era, and there are two dudes left standing. There's Ali, there's Frazier, there's Leonard, there's Hagler, there's Mayweather, there's Pacquiao. That's a super fight, right? There's Crawford, there's Canelo. Those are two big fighters of the era. This type of fight, this could easily be at the end of an era, because Teo might be a dude left standing and Shakur could be the dude left standing, right?
I agree. Are you training to do something to not just beat Shakur, but to beat him in grand fashion? And when I say grand fashion, I mean going for the knockout.
Well, I think that the whole thing is the Bible of boxing really is that if you look for the knockout, you won't get it. I think really it's just all about setting the good pace early in the beginning rounds and then going from there.
We have going for us when a person underestimates you. That's lovely. And that ain't the only thing he's underestimating. So we're good.
Kellerman says this fight is far from easy, describing it as a dangerous matchup for Shakur Stevenson and a true test of skill at the highest level.
Critically pleasing fight. We've seen the way Teo goes against some of these boxers. We've seen Shakur in some bad fights, obviously. Although Shakur looks pretty damn good against Williams Zepeda. Teo's not a pressure guy. He likes to counter punch. Two counter punchers, really.
Yes, it is not but there are some fights, guys. I think about Pernell Whitaker and Buddy McGirt, or Sugar Ray Leonard and Wilfred Benitez. I love the high-speed chess match. Not every fight has to be rock'em sock'em robots, right? That is, I agree with you. Aesthetically, there could be problems because someone has to take the lead, and they're both counterpunchers. But Chris, Teo has some angles with his feet that might bother a guy like Shakur.
That's exactly what I was thinking. Like, he has great angles with the feet. He moves greater in the ring, and combination fighter, to me, combinations is the best.
Teófimo López remains determined, stating that when they finally meet, the fight will serve as a rude awakening for Shakur Stevenson.
Number one, my mandatory, and he didn't. He was too hesitant trying to commit to punches. So I think that it's just something that's going to be a rude awakening for Shakur.
Hey, Doug, you hear that? He said the Bible of boxing. What else is called the Bible of boxing? Ring Magazine. And he's a two-division, Ring Magazine champ.
Great ambassador for those championship belts as well.
Yep, absolutely.
I'm very big on those things. I claimed 2 weight divisions, 2 Ring Magazine belts.
Shakur's coach, Jack, explains that while the team stayed true to their usual training methods, they made strategic adjustments this time to prepare Stevenson more intelligently for the challenge ahead.
Trying a few new little things, you know what I'm saying? But other than that, it's basically the same thing we've been doing. We changed the strategy, but no camp is never exactly the same. So yeah, it's just like always. Like, we may try a little bit of this, a little bit of that, but it's mainly the same things. One of the best things we have going for us when a person underestimates you. That's lovely. And that ain't the only thing he's underestimating. So we're good.
Kellerman adds that although Shakur's power is impressive, Teofimo's strength, footwork, and presence in the ring are equally formidable, reflecting his determination and overall skill.
The thing I like about Teo's style, when you have a guy like Shakur whose defense is that good, and he's not just a guy who's going to hug you, he can box, the easiest thing in the world is just to pick him against everybody.
Right.
Yes. But Teo also has the kind of footwork, Malik, where he steps around guys. And I think about Buddy McGirt, Meldrick Taylor.
Yes.
Roy, where Meldrick had quick enough feet where if you were going to come right at Buddy McGirt, he could box you. but Meldrick could give him angles that were more difficult. I think of Roy Jones, James Toney. If you were going to go at James Toney, forget it. His defense is too good. But Roy had the feet to move around James Toney, and maybe Teo has the feet to move around Shakur.
I seriously doubt it, man. Shakur is a whole different type of animal. His ring IQ is up there with the best. He's getting literally, I don't know how many times we've seen two.
Shakur says he often feels criticized and overlooked, with people downplaying his achievements and dismissing the quality of his opponents.
Just kept it moving. I do feel like I am in a situation that when I do make fighters look bad and beat them up, the first thing that they going to run to is, oh, this guy wasn't that good, or this guy is not nobody. They're going to take away from my resume, same way they did with Bud. Just like my last fight. They turned the dude that I was fighting and they say he's a cab driver. But I want to say his fight before he fought me, he fought Nakatani. And no disrespect to Teo. Teo had, a majority decision with Nakatani. Lomachenko, it took him 9 or 10 rounds to get him out of there. That dude got him out of there in 6. So he couldn't be as bad as how they made him seem. But I think I'm just in a lose situation when it comes down to it, because anybody that I fight.
This time, he is determined to prove himself and silence the doubters once and for all.
They're going to act like I didn't fight nobody. Even with Edwin. Edwin is a great fighter. But after I beat him, they're going to sit there and say that he wasn't as good as...
Ryan Garcia has shared his thoughts on the highly anticipated matchup between Shakur Stevenson and Teófimo López. While he leans toward Stevenson as a likely winner, Garcia cautions against underestimating López. He points out that Shakur's skill set, speed, and defensive mastery give him a clear edge, making him a difficult opponent for anyone. At the same time, Garcia acknowledges that López's power, determination, and ability to adjust make the fight unpredictable. At this level, Garcia notes, boxing often comes down to timing and small moments where a single combination or tactical shift can change everything. While he favors Shakur, he believes López has the tools to pull off an upset.
I would put my money on Shakur, but I won't be surprised if Teofimo surprises us all, for sure. I think I'm underestimating Teofimo a little bit, but I don't think he can make the necessary adjustments to his own style to combat what Shakur does best. But he could definitely prove me wrong, for sure.
Oscar Valdez has explained why he believes Teófimo López has a legitimate chance to win. Valdez highlights López's positioning, footwork, and natural counterpunching ability. He notes that Teófimo uses his back foot to maintain balance, create space, and exploit his reach to land clean counters. This approach allows him to absorb shots without taking excessive damage, a skill developed through his amateur and Olympic background. Valdez emphasizes that while this style may not always excite casual fans, it is a critical part of López's effectiveness. Against a fighter like Shakur Stevenson, patience, timing, and controlled pressure are essential.
First, and Shakur Stevenson, the way he's positioned, the way his back foot's there, and then you see him comfortable, and he's all right. And this is my shot, and you throw it. He just rocks back, or he has that back foot, just steps back, and he has a long reach, so he just counters punches you. And that's part of the game. You get hit and not get hit. And Shakur Stevenson does it to the T. He perfected that since he was an amateur and Olympian, silver medalist, and now he's done it as a professional. Maybe not the whole world enjoys it, but the boxing, the pure boxing fan will maybe appreciate that.
I know you tried to do it, and Shakur's undefeated at this point, but like, how do you beat a Shakur Stevenson?
I think how you beat a Shakur Stevenson, if I can go back, you do something.
According to Valdez, López must wait for the right moments to land effective shots that force Stevenson into uncomfortable positions. He draws comparisons to past fights where precise timing allowed underdogs to defeat technically superior opponents. Valdez believes López's composure, distance control, and counterpunching under pressure make him a genuine threat. If he applies intelligent pressure while remaining defensively sound, López could seriously challenge Stevenson's undefeated record. For Valdez, this fight is a tactical battle where patience and opportunity may determine the outcome.
And make that damage where he has no other option. And we all got tremendous fighters who box very well. You got Sugar Ray Leonard till Roberto Duran came, and he ended up catching him. You got sweet Pernell Whitaker. He was an amazing defensive fighter. So Zurdo Ramirez came in and beat him, then and other fighters. So everyone that I think time will tell what type of fighter, but I would say a pressured fighter. Maybe someone like Pitbull. We know Pitbull has had some losses with guys who are even less defensive fighters than Shakur Stevenson. So Rayo Venezuela and then Gervonta Davis and then
Zach Moses has shared his candid view of the matchup, confidently stating that Shakur Stevenson is likely to dominate. He emphasizes that Shakur's technical ability, speed, and ring IQ give him a clear advantage. Moses points to Stevenson's ability to control distance, read opponents, and capitalize on mistakes as reasons he is such a difficult challenge. While acknowledging Lopez's power and determination, Moses believes Stevenson's composure, experience, and tactical approach will neutralize those strengths. He references past performances to show how Stevenson has consistently handled aggressive opponents.
The fight against Teofimo, Madison Square Garden next week. How do you see that playing out?
I see him beating the shit out of Teofimo. I see Teo I don't want to really say too much, but I see Teo coming to do what he do, and I see Shakur coming to do what he do. And I just see Shakur doing whatever he wants. And any type of way he want it, that's how it's going to be. And next week is a big week. And I can't wait for bro to show everybody, for real.
You said beat the shit out of him. Do you think he's going to stop Teofimo Lopez? Do you think if he wants to, he can?
I mean, he act crazy. I think he can. That's all I'm going to say. He act crazy. I think he can.
Last one. Obviously, with that fight in the horizon, you want to be involved in big fights like that, going down, that New York, New Jersey rivalry. Is that something that inspires you when you see Shakur doing this at the highest level?
I mean, for sure.
Antonio Tarver has outlined what he believes is Lopez's only realistic path to victory. Tarver explains that Stevenson thrives when he controls distance, uses angles, and keeps the fight centered in the ring. In that position, Stevenson naturally dictates the pace and limits openings. However, if Lopez can push Stevenson onto the back foot or toward the ropes, opportunities begin to emerge. Lopez's combination punching and ability to throw both hands quickly make him dangerous in close quarters. Tarver also stresses that conditioning and mental readiness will be crucial factors.
That fight sort of in the middle, you got to favor Shakur. But if he's on the back foot, if he's on the ropes, I mean, that's going to give Teofimo a lot of opportunities. And what makes Teofimo, I believe, dangerous in this fight, he throws both hands in succession. He's a combination type puncher, and that always serves well if you got a real slick defensive fighter in there. If Shakur can show us a little bit of that, what he had in his last fight, a lot of that work in the center of the ring, it's going to be an exciting fight. I think you got to favor the guy who's in the best condition, not only physically, but mentally. I think, these guys are going to have to lock in, and they can't let, that intricate, you got to have your personal life in order. You know what I'm saying? Leading up to a fight this big, that's going to be
Both fighters must be physically prepared and fully focused, with no room for distractions. At this level, even brief lapses in concentration can be costly. While many attributes favor Stevenson, Lopez can make the fight far more difficult by forcing exchanges and applying smart pressure. By keeping Stevenson wary of counters, Lopez can disrupt his rhythm and create openings. Tarver also notes Lopez's stamina and history of rising to the occasion, referencing performances against elite opponents like Lomachenko and Josh Taylor. If Lopez combines power, precision, and resilience, he has a legitimate chance to challenge Stevenson.
Possess?
Yeah, smart money would be on the boxer, Shakur Stevenson winning the decision. But, if Lopez can make this fight, a lot tougher than expected, and he's going to have to exchange with Shakur. He's a fast fighter. We don't know who's the quickest or fastest here. You have to give the speed edge to Shakur. But if Lopez can punch with this fast guy, make him a little bit cautious and a little bit leery of what's coming back, that serves him well. But Teofimo is one of the best conditioned fighters out there. If this fight goes late, you can expect him to be pushing forward round 9, 10, and 11 if it goes late.
Yeah, a big question is always like the what Teo is going to show up. And like when everyone's counted out Teo, it's actually been the times where he's like upset people, like against Lomachenko, against Josh Taylor. Fights.
Wade Plemons breaks down the matchup by describing Shakur Stevenson as a defensive master and a true technician in the ring. According to Plemons, Stevenson's ability to turn defense into offense sets him apart. He reads punches, anticipates movement, and punishes mistakes with precise counters. Stevenson's style is not about absorbing punishment or relying on volume, but about efficiency and control. For Lopez, Plemons suggests a strategy may involve using boxing IQ while maintaining front foot pressure, potentially forcing Stevenson to lead more than you.
A professor of the sweet science, you may say. And it's not like Teofimo has a William Zepeda-esque style. He's not just going to be front foot, volume punching, eat punches to give punches. That's not how he's going to fight. He is going to try to go boxing IQ for boxing IQ with Shakur, but I assume do it more on an offensive front foot pace than trying to goad Shakur to walk to him. I mean, it might be the best option for Teofimo if he could get Shakur to be front foot and offensive because of maybe the deficiencies Shakur has on the front foot. We haven't really seen him be a dominant front foot control center fighter. But this is why I'm hoping, again, knock on wood, we don't get like a defensive standoff where we're both feinting and no one wants to take the lead foot and both guys want to play counterpuncher. That I think that Teo can do both better than Shakur can do both. I think Shakur is probably the better defensive to offensive fighter. I think Teo could probably...
Plemons also highlights the challenge Lopez faces. Stevenson's defensive brilliance, combined with his seamless transitions into offense, makes him extremely difficult to penetrate. Lopez must draw Stevenson into situations where counters are available, which will require patience, precision, and perfect timing. Any mistake could allow Stevenson to quickly regain control. Ultimately, this fight shapes up as a high-level tactical battle, with Stevenson's defensive genius contrasting against Lopez's versatility and adaptability, testing ring intelligence and strategy at the elite level.
About, I don't know, there could be a number of things he's talking about. Low blows, rabbit punches, rough clinch work, raking a forearm. I don't really know what he's talking about, but that's hilarious. He's just coming out and saying it. This is when Darren Till was telling Tommy Fury if he started losing the boxing match, he would kick him in the head. This is the same kind of energy, dude. Yeah, hey, listen, I might just do something illegal.
Basically, when you see a fighter like him, it is not illegal to do certain punches and throw certain punches or hit certain areas. It's not, as long as it's not below the belt line. Is that true?
Are you saying hit him in the back of the head? Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what are we talking about? You can't. I'm gonna punch him in the back of the head.
Huh? You can't hit behind the head. I mean,
no, I know. There's rules to it.
Back of the head, you can't hit nobody in the back of the head.